Welcome to PA Timber Goose, another lovely Saturday morning. Today we're on the Stony Valley Rail Trail, and we're going to ride the entire trail from the Ellendale side all the way to Goldmine Road. I have my GPS on, and we'll see how many miles it is. It's supposed to be about 18 miles. The Garmin Explorer Plus will tell me exactly how far I rode today, how fast I'm moving, my travel time, and a few cars in the parking lot today. I see some excavator tracks on the road, so they're probably doing some work back here somewhere. Maybe some culvert pipes. And we'll see how long it takes me to ride to the other side. I'm going to guess it takes me about 4 hours to ride the entire trail. Take my time and enjoy the scenery and the peace and quiet. So come along with us today. Enjoy our ride down the Stony Valley Rail Trail. Very pretty in here today. Very peaceful now. I'm away from the road. Any noises you can hear now in the background are airplanes drifting over. Indian Town Gap's pretty quiet back there. I don't hear any live fire today, so this should be a very peaceful day. Stony Valley Rail Trail's getting a lot of work out. Must be doing some heavy-duty construction back there. There's some very large truck tracks in the dirt. This will make very smooth riding today. It's not gravelly or anything so far. It's really packed down nice. Not bumpy at all. Usually you get a pretty rough ride. Cruising through here, and saw a few people running their dogs so far. Let's take a look at the GPS and see if my GPS is still tracking. Sometimes it has a problem getting through the tree canopy. And right now I have no signal. So up here I have a question mark. You can see a little question mark on there. Yep, it's running. There's a solid arrow here, so it is tracking. Let's back up here. Let's scroll over to waypoint. And this will tell me how far I've gone and what speed I've gone. More accurate tips. Choose a fast log interval settings. And let's see. Speed 8.1 miles per hour, 2.7 miles, and from the time I turned this on in the parking lot, it's 3 hours and 25 minutes. Still have 99% on the battery. The Garmin Explorer Plus works really well. The only problem I have with it is the tree canopy. Some spots I can't get through the tree canopy. And I turned down a sensitivity so my battery lasts a little bit longer. My marks on my GPS marks are farther apart because I turned the sensitivity down. That way I can get some more battery life. Turn you off here and head down the trail and see what else we can find. I'm going to make a right here, and we'll go down to the bridge and take a look at Stony Creek. No critters yet, just a few squirrels and a few other people on the bike trail. And I suspect a lot of them are looking for hunting spots. Archer season is right around the corner. And saw a lot of deer this morning. I saw about 20 deer already in the cut cornfield. A couple big ones and a lot of doe with little ones. That's always a good sign. And of course they're on private property. Deer can read posted signs, and they like to hide in there. And we'll cruise down to the bridge here. Very peaceful in here. Lots of blue jays today. I hear a raven in the background. There's probably still a few fish in here somewhere. I just saw something jump out of the water. There's a lot of shiners at this end. I'm not sure how far up they stock, but this area here has always caught a lot of shiners on flies. It's very relaxing. Let's check our GPS again. I can tell you how many miles from the Ellendale side this bridge is. Okay, if you want to ride to this bridge and fish this spot or go for a walk, it's very beautiful in here. And so far my GPS says 3.3 miles. Average speed 8.1 miles per hour. And time moving is 3 hours and 27 minutes. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. Trip time up here. Trip time up here says 1 hour and 3 minutes. And that's probably more realistic time. I haven't been going that long. See, the first bridge in is about 3.3 miles. And you could just round it off and say 3 miles. Very beautiful in here. Pack a lunch. Bring some portable folding chairs. And just sit down and relax and enjoy nature. It's very quiet in here. Not much sound of any kind. Check out my sweet ride here. There's my milk crate on the back. And my pack is the same size as that milk crate. My GPS, in case I get in trouble. There's the SOS button on the side. A couple locks. And very nice ride. The seat has a shock absorber on it. And I have a suspension system on the front shocks. It makes a very nice ride. My seat was upgraded. I have a gel seat. Much easier on long rides for this old guy. Blue jays are very noisy. They're flying around up there. They must be eating some acorns. There's a lot of oak trees back here. Very peaceful. Alright, let's continue down the trail and see if we can find some critters or some more cool stuff to video. Stay with us. That dump truck is huge. That's really cool. I just think it would be so much fun to drive something like that. That almost looks like a stone quarry truck. It's enormous. Here's some massive tires. Look at the tracks that it's making. Huge tracks. Wonder how many yards of stone will fit in the back of that truck, or how much weight it can move. Very cool. Here's Rattling Run Trail. Closed to all motor vehicles. Here's a shot at the front end of it. Got a smashed headlight on this side. Looks like they did some re-engineering. You got some aluminum foil on that headlight. Yeah, whatever works. Still didn't run into anybody else back here. It's very quiet. There's Rattling Run Trail. Yeah, I believe that trail goes all the way up to the top of the mountain. Not sure. I've never been up that one. This trailer looks like you could use some TLC. Wonder how old this is. Got some holes in the trailer. There's the plates where the equipment goes. Probably pulling this with a dump truck. There's some tie down chains. All right, let's go up to the next bridge, see what else we can find along the Stony Valley Rail Trail. Here's another shot at that big dump truck. It's definitely very cool. I would love to drive that. even if it was only a short distance, just to give it a try. All right, let's hop back on the bike here. More heavy equipment. You never know what you're going to find back here. Another caterpillar. I bet you could hear those steel treads from a long way away. Caterpillars are very noisy. Any heavy equipment with these big steel treads are very noisy. There's no mistaking what that sound is. Yellow steel. That's a heavy duty front end loader. Very large. Let's look at the front here. Yes, that's their version of a grader. The blade moves up and down. There's some ratchets up there. That's how it's attached, but this actually levels the ground out as they go. Here's another truck here. This kind of looks like the other one, but much shorter. It doesn't have dollies on the back. It only has one. This only has 4 wheels instead of 6. Very cool. This one looks a little newer. Walk around here. Cool. Giant tires. I bet that one pivots in the middle like the other one, so I'm guessing it has a very short turn radius. Cool stuff. Let's see how high the water is over here. This stream here goes all the way to the top. All the way up to Yellow Springs. This is the second bridge. Oh, there's some water in there. It doesn't look too bad. Got a nice flow coming out of there. This stream here is Rattling Run. There's the sign. We'll take a look at our GPS and we'll see how far back this bridge is. This is the second bridge. Has a nice flow coming out of there. And the water actually looks very refreshing. No acid mine drainage in there. Very soothing sound. Let's see if there's any bug life under the rocks. That'll always tell you how clean your water source is. Let's find a spot to climb down here. Hopefully there's no snakes hiding in here. Nothing buzzing at me. Got lots of slippery moss on the rocks. See if we got any kind of life in this waterway. The easiest thing to do is to tell how clean your water source is pick up a rock. And, there's nothing on the bottom. It actually is yellow on the bottom, so there's probably some mine drainage in here. There's no mayflies or anything, even though the water looks very clear and there's moss on there. There's a telltale sign of yellow water right there. Let's walk over here a little bit. Very beautiful. Very peaceful sound. All right, let's go find a spot and sit down and we'll have some lunch here. We'll be right back. Sit down and take a break here and try another green belly meal. This one is Cranberry Almonds, and I'm going to take a few Benadryl here. So the first bridge on the right is 3 miles in. The second one is 6 miles according to my Garmin. Very quiet in here. I always like coming in this area. And there's always fire rings here in the woods. other people have found this spot. I'm going to do a 18-mile ride today. Stony Valley Rail Trail is mostly state game lands 211. Around the second week of October, the gate is open and you can drive all the way through to the other side. They're probably fixing the road for that because it's only a few weeks away. If you have a car with low ground clearance, you may get stuck or bottom out if you pull off. Definitely an area for something with some high ground clearance. We did that a few years ago, and it took us roughly about 4 hours to get to the other side. There could be 1,000 cars that go through the gate in one day, and you can only go about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Find my Benadryl here. You always want to have Benadryl with you. It could save your life. If you have an allergic reaction to something. I updated my emergency kit last night. I have all new fresh meds in here. I have my asthma inhaler with me too, in case I have an asthma attack. You always have some vitamins. I always have magnesium and potassium. That's an electrolyte if you start getting a lot of muscle spasms in your legs. That can help out a great deal. I have some Aleve. 2 of these will last 12 hours. That's also great for muscle cramps. In case you're getting tired or have back aches. Benadryl. Always have Benadryl. 2 of these will last about 4 hours. And then I have some Imodium. And I have some aspirin. Aspirin's always good to have in your bag. And aspirin's a blood thinner. If you have a heart attack, you can crunch 3 or 4 of these up. And this could potentially save your life. As well as the Benadryl. 2 things that are very inexpensive that you should always have on you. Or even a passerby, you could save somebody's life. You have a little bottle of aspirin or you have some Benadryl. I'm going to take 2 Benadryl right now. Last night I found a yellow jacket nest, and there were some really angry bees. All I could see was a cloud of yellow jackets coming at me. I still have some hives popping up. I'm not sure how many stings I have on me yet. Yesterday I counted 5. I have which hand did it bite? It's starting to go down. I believe it bit me in this knuckle. This one's already going away. So I had 1 here. I have a big knot here. I have 1 there I didn't know I had yesterday. They're all starting to burn because of me sweating. And I have 5 of them under my armpit. I felt like I got shot with a 12 gauge under my armpit. That was some definitely excruciating pain, some crippling pain. I was just hoping I wasn't going to get a trip to the emergency room. Ran in the house as fast as I could, peeled off all my clothes, and some of them were stuck to my clothes. So I had a few yellow jackets in the house. I killed them, the ones that came in with me. I couldn't find all of them at first, but my cat found a few of them. So we smashed all of them. Yellow jackets have a habit of going underneath of your clothes. If you can't see them on the outside, they will go underneath your sleeves. They go up your pant legs. They like to bite you in the middle of the back. And then they'll get underneath of your skin. And they'll keep stinging you unless you smash them. The best way, if you get into a cloud of yellow jackets, is to peel everything off. Look for the ones that hit underneath. Check your clothes before you put them back on. Take a few Benadryl. It might save your life if you have an allergic reaction. If you're having problems breathing and your tongue swelling, you might want to call an ambulance ASAP. You only have a short time. If you have an allergic reaction to bee stings, you could be dead in an hour or less, depending upon how severe it is. Last week I got chased by a white face hornet, or a pale face hornet, whatever you want to call it. I call them. The white face hornet Hornets are all very aggressive, and they are related to yellow jackets. I have yet to find that nest. I was out in the yard walking around checking my garden looking for tomatoes, and I got buzzed by something just before dark. I took a swat at it, must have made him mad, and he chased me all the way in the house. And I got in the house, I thought he was outside, and he wasn't. He landed on my door, and my cat found him. My cat took a swat at that white-faced hornet and got stung in the paw. So her paw like swelled up almost instantly. She didn't meow or anything, but she had one paw that was three times the normal size. Then it went all the way up to her shoulder. Let's put all our stuff back in our bag here. Aspirin and Benadryl, it'll save your life or somebody else's life. Fairly inexpensive, but you should always have some. Excuse me, you should always have some on hand. Got some Imodium in here. Never know, you might need some Imodium sometime. Alright. Have everything triple sealed. Although I saw a hummingbird down there. Let's see, a very large dragonfly. We'll go down and check the stream out here a little bit. I have a waterproof bag. See the summit, and these are almost 100% waterproof as long as you close them up correctly. I also have some matches in here and some fire starting material. I'm going to squeeze all the air out of this and roll this over a few times. And then push the buckle shut. This is always in the front of my pack so I can get to it very quickly. I don't have to dig through everything. Alright, let's crack this baby open and see what this green belly meal tastes like. The last one I ate on the other video, it was really good. I wasn't really expecting how good that was. Everything was fresh. The other one had coconut in, and it was actually really good. This one's Cranberry Almonds. Basically, they look like a big cereal bar. And this is an entire meal in this bar. Let's take a little taste test here. Cranberries are falling off. Very tasty. Let me turn the camera off here, and I'm going to eat both of these. Sit here for a few minutes and rest up, and then we'll poke around in the stream here and see what other kind of interesting things we can find. That was really good. Another delicious green belly meal. I have a couple of these to say they're chocolate, and I'm saving them for a special occasion. Very delicious, very filling. All right, let's poke around in the stream here, see what we can find. You always find cool rocks anywhere there's coal mining, and some of these are really cool. You can see the little lines in there. They're fairly smooth from the water flowing. That's a pretty cool one there. Here's another cool rock. You can actually see all the layers in here. That's really neat. No fossils yet. I don't see anything that even looks like a fossil. Maybe the force of the running water washed a lot of them away. There's always pieces of coal in the stream. A lot of these areas, if you walk around, you always find a old metal bucket with the bottom rusted out. That means they were picking the pieces of coal up off the ground. Some areas are littered with chunks of coal. Let's take a look at the stream down here. No fishing pole today. I am not fishing. Just relaxing today for a nice bike ride. Very beautiful out here. I would love to camp out here for a few days. Take a look upstream here. It's rocks are very slippery. There are fish up here because I've caught shiners, and you can see the bottom there. Right where my thumb is, there's a stonefly there, so there is life here. If you ever want to see how clean a waterway is, pick up some stones, look at the bottom. If you see stoneflies on the bottom or anything else crawling around, caddises, the water's fairly clean. Roush Creek coming down the side, if you follow that all the way back, that'll probably run right into a mine. Usually the water's coming out of a mine, and sometimes it's yellow or orange, a telltale sign. All right, let's walk around here. I see lots of dragonflies buzzing around. Fortunately, I cannot zoom in on them with the GoPro. I don't have the Canon with me with the zoom lens. Very beautiful in here. You can smell the ferns and the hemlocks. Here's another look at my bike. This came from Martin's bike shop in Ephrata, and they've recently expanded, and they have a very large inventory: electric bikes, regular bikes, carts, all the accessories, and a lot of exercise equipment. There's my milk crate on the back. That's an extra large milk crate, and it's basically the size of my pack. I had larger tires put on. I had them put the biggest tire on there they could fit. I really didn't want a fat tire bike. I don't like how they sit. They sit kind of low and wide. You can see how far up them tires come. I think they tried 3 sets on there, and I kept telling them bigger, bigger, bigger. I want a real aggressive tire, and I have a lot of air in them, so they ride pretty well on the bike trails. If you were riding a lot of rocks, a fat tire would probably be better, but I mostly ride bike trails. And the other upgrade I did, I got some all metal pedals from Amazon. These are much better than the plastic ones are there. They actually have big cleats on them, so they dig into the bottom of your boots, and they're fairly open. Nothing to break here. The mud just comes off. That's my sweet ride, and I didn't get to ride it too much this year. Not as much as I wanted to. All right, let's pack our stuff up here, and we'll head up the trail a little bit more, see what else we can find. There's probably some more heavy equipment along the trail where they're patching up the road for the State Game Lands tour. Stay with us. Looks really different, doesn't it? They made the road wider. Basically buried the old railroad bed, so it's gone. The culverts are being ripped out and replaced with concrete culverts. We'll take a look at one here where I stopped. Today I'm trying to ride from the Ellendale side to Goldmine Road to the other side, and the new road is making it very difficult. There's some serious heavy equipment in the middle, and now I can see what they're doing. Basically, the old railroad bed has vanished. It was buried under a foot of crushed gravel and compressed, and all the drainage pipes are being replaced with concrete. There's the old culvert pipe. This that one's iron. I wonder how long that's been laying in the ground. Probably quite a while. And we can see the new culvert here. Let's take a look at the culvert pipe. Adjust my tripod here. You can take a look in there. That looks like a plastic drain pipe now instead of a metal one. A lot more room for the water to flow through. Got some nice smooth concrete there. Welcome to Yellow Springs. There was a marker back there when we entered Lebanon County. So welcome to Lebanon County. I'm on another section of the trail, and everything here is small. No big ballast stones. Maybe they'll put this little stone on top of these big ones. That's about a 1 to 2 mile bike ride back there where they're working. I'm glad this side doesn't have a lot of that big rock. I have about 8 more miles to go down to the Goldmine roadside. And here's Yellow Springs. There's the old sign. Here's some cool markers along the trail. And these, I believe, are supposed to be where they kept extra rails for the railroad. I don't know how far apart these are, but I've passed quite a few of these this morning. And the rail trail goes all the way down to the Lebanon Reservoir, which is on the other side of Goldmine Road. And there's a few of these down there also. You always wonder who made the marker, and I always wondered how deep in the ground that marker goes, why it didn't sink or fall over. Maybe it goes way down in the ground and has a big cement base. We're going to take a ride down here, and we'll sit down in Cold Springs and take a break in a nice cool shade here. It's getting kind of warm. Got a nice breeze kicking up. That really feels good. All right, time for a break. Finished off the Gatorade. Eat some more snacks. And we're more than halfway now. Velveeta biscuits. These are pretty good. I think they're kind of smashed from being in my pack there. My GoPro batteries are sitting on top of them too. They're kind of banged up. It's very cool sitting here on the old steps, directly across from the hotel. And the sidewalk went across the road is still here. We'll take a look at that after I'm done taking a break. It's always cool in this area. I'm not sure why. Giant hemlocks. And a very old cedar tree next to me. That cedar tree is probably 200 or 300 years old. And we'll be right back. This looks like the old sidewalk right here. It's still in here. Last time I was here, I never noticed this. Looks like this was a stone walkway here in between the two buildings. You can see where it goes across here. And up into here. It's pretty cool to sit here at the restaurant and sit on the front porch and eat a nice meal. Look down the valley. Let's look on this side here. Most of these trees weren't here. The only pictures I saw of this, basically it was just the buildings. Most of the trees were all cut down. So I'm wondering how long these big white pines were there. They're pretty big. This is my favorite tree here. This old cedar tree. Cedar trees grow very slowly. And this one here could be 200 or 300 years old. Something's split in the bark here. Put a cedar post in the ground, it'll last about 100 years. The only thing harder than the cedar post is a locust tree. Locust trees are very dense. They're soft when you cut them, but once they dry out, they get very hard. I have some locust trees in my backyard, and I cut them to the ground about 20 years ago, and I still can't get rid of the stumps. They're hard as a rock. So locust trees make the best fence posts. And I was looking around over here. I'm not sure where this trail goes. Maybe there's something hiding down in here. And there's some cool mushrooms. I am not a mushroom guy. It kind of looks creepy. It's kind of slimy. Here's some chestnut holes. Any chestnut tree back here is probably native. I'm pretty sure the Game Commission didn't plant that. So I kept looking around. Usually the tree's not that far away. And here's the chestnut tree. Right there. I don't know if that's a Chinese chestnut or that's a native chestnut. The chestnut trees the Game Commission plants. They usually plant them as big groves. So that's probably a native chestnut. I've seen quite a few over the years. And Usually they grow a little bit and die, grow a little bit and die. And there's quite a few chestnut holes underneath here. That's probably the biggest one I've seen. There's still a couple nuts in here. That one's kind of soggy, but there's a nut in the hole. So there's a native chestnut. Something that you don't see very often. And it doesn't look like it has blight. Well, there are some dead limbs up there, so it's very possible. Maybe that's a lone survivor. I wonder if there's any more in here. Yeah, I would say that's probably the only one. All right, that's Cold Springs. And now we're going to go down to Roush Gap. It's about 2 miles down the road. And we're about 6 miles away from Goldmine Road right now. It's always cool in here. You want a good place to cool off, just come in here, sit on the steps, or hang out on the wall here. These stones are very cool on a hot day. I could just sit here all day and relax. Here's the old railroad grade. This is the old one. Stony Valley Rail Trail is the new one. We walked this last year. It kind of goes up the side of the mountain and it goes across. And that was a nice walk. There were some places that were underwater, and you had to go out and around the spots. It had all the blowdowns and the water in. It's been a very nice day today, and lots of things to see on the Stony Valley Rail Trail. You can definitely see more if you ride your bike down the trail and take your time. If you drive through here with State Camlands Tour, you'll actually miss a lot of this, because usually there's a lot of cars behind you and there's nowhere to pull over. Lots of interesting things hiding in the woods in here, and if you go really fast you won't see all of them. Just take your time, poke along, and keep checking out things as you go. I'm about 3/4 of the way out now, and the next stop should be Roush Gap, and we'll check out the limer and see how much water's coming out of there. First time I walked through this area, I went to Roush Gap on a backpacking trip, and the stone arch was still up. And I kind of regret not taking any pictures of that, but at the time, I still had my flip phone, and I had no GoPro. I had no idea what it was, or what YouTube was, or nothing. But it's been a very cool day today. Very relaxing. And by the time I get to my ride at the other end, I'll have 18 miles on my bike. And so far we're about 3/4 of the way. So let's take a ride down here, and the next stop will be Roush Gap. Here's another look. Here's another look at the railroad grade. This is the newer one, and this is the older one here. It's pretty flat here, but it gets worse as you go along. And lots of things to check out in here. All right, let's continue down the trail, and we'll stop at Roush Gap next. Okay, we're at Roush Gap. Let's check out the board here. It'd be nice if these buildings were still there, or something of them. Let's take a look at the stream here. It's probably very low. Not too much water. There's a couple fish down there, and that's just proof that the limestone treatment does work. It's a shame the arch still isn't here. You can still see the pieces of stone that fell out. You look down there. There's a piece of the arch there. There's a piece there. And there's a piece down there. It's still there. Very quiet back here today. Usually this place is packed with people. Only one other person soaking their feet in the water. All right, let's keep rolling down the trail, and we'll check out the Sand Springs next. That's right on the way, and we'll see how low that is. Stay with us. Let's take a look at the Sand Spring. Let's see how low the spring is today. Still got some water coming out. A little bit in there. Not completely dry. Still got some water coming out of the side of the mountain here. There's a frog went in there. Mr. Froggy. There are a few minnows in this spring when it's really high and clear. If you look in there, you can actually see them swimming around. I'm not sure how they got in there. You walk back up here on the trail. That's the end of this video. Thanks for coming along today. It's been a very, very interesting day. That bad section on the trail, I believe, is at mile 8 or 9 coming from the Ellendale side. And that's pretty rough. They're replacing the culverts with concrete ones, and I believe they're fixing the road. The road is very wide down there. It almost looks like a road you could drive up and down with 2 cars. Not sure what's going on there. Hopefully they don't do too much damage to that area down there. They basically put about a foot of gravel on top of the bike trail, and it's very difficult to ride on. And I had a little excitement there with the rattlesnake. He actually took a strike at me, and luckily it wasn't a big one. It could only reach about maybe a foot or 2, and it stopped about a foot short from my foot. Very scary moment there. Thanks for watching PA Timber Goose. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Every time a new video goes up, you'll be notified. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to the family. And thanks for watching PA Timber Goose. We will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.